What's going on, guys? Mr. 46 back in action. I've been MIA for a little bit, about 2 weeks. I don't think I made a new video in a very long time. But listen, I've been busy, right? I work 2 jobs, got bills to pay, so that's what it comes with. But I'm back making a video here talking college football playoffs, all right, for the games next week. We'll talk about that. I'll talk about, South Carolina going forward, what I think, it's the end of the season, how it ended, not making the playoff, which, I thought we had a shot, but hey, we didn't make it. Nothing I can do. But I'll just talk about the team, where I think we are going forward, recruiting and stuff like that. I know last video I said my man Jeff Spieley would be on with me. I will talk to him and try to schedule something out with a day that we can do a video like we did before, because that was a hit for you guys. It's probably my second most viewed video. We're going to do, and we'll have the spreads, we'll have everything, dialed in. So, I really think you guys will be interested in seeing that, me and Spioli back at it again. Or we can make it a daily, weekly thing, me and Spioli every week. If you guys are interested in that, comment below if that's what you want to see. And subscribe. Definitely subscribe, because there's good content here, for sure. And you guys who are viewing and know me, you know that I have good content. I know my stuff. So with that being said, let's get into it. First game we're going to talk about for the college football playoff. I'm just going to overview here. Clemson at Texas. I will have a little prediction as well. At DKR Memorial Stadium. Now, next week, we will dive deep into it with me and Spioli. But today, I'm just going to talk about, Clemson's front. I like that front seven at Clemson. I hate Clemson with everything in me, but I'm not going to lie. They got a good defensive front. Klubnik going back to Texas. He is originally from Texas, so he's going back to Texas. Quinn Ewers struggles in big games. Okay, so remember that. Quinn Ewers struggles in big games. Clemson, I know a lot of fans don't think they have a chance, but they do. They have a chance to win. I'm just worried if they can block Texas's front. Okay, and that's going to be the key to the game right there. Because Texas, listen, South Carolina has a great defensive front. Texas, I think, is slightly better than South Carolina's front, which is a very good front, So, yeah, I'm definitely rocking with, I say definitely. I'm going to rock with Texas here. It's going to be a close game. Clemson is very well coached. I don't think they're going to make mistakes here. It is in Texas, so I'll give the edge to Texas. Remember, I don't know. Ewers doesn't show up in big games. Clemson is underrated. I don't think they're very good, but they're not a bad team. So say, like, Texas has to be ready to play. Clemson's not going to back down. They're not scared of Texas. Texas did not impress me against Georgia. So, and like I said, Quinn Ewers, big games. Is he a big game quarterback? We're going to have to see. But I know he had a big game against Alabama 2 years ago. So that was the one big game he showed up. But this year, big games, he's been struggling. I'm going to take Texas, though, just due to the fact they're at home. If it was in Clemson, maybe I would take Clemson. But I like Texas at home. First time having a home playoff game. First year in the SEC. Big year for Texas. So I'm rocking with Texas there. I'll have more of a prediction for next week and stuff like that. And more betting if Jeff Spioli's on. Then the next game we're talking about, Tennessee at Ohio State. Now, I know what people are saying. Ohio State's done. Ryan Day sucks. He needs to be fired. He can't beat Michigan. Listen, it's not like Michigan. This year, Michigan was down. I'm not going to lie and say all this. Michigan was down this year. But it's not like before Michigan was a bunch of scrubs and Ryan Day lost to bad teams. No, Michigan was good. And I know at the coach at Ohio State, you have to beat Michigan. That's what you got to do. But Ryan Day has been consistently, and I know Ohio State recruits itself, all that, but Ryan Day has been winning. Okay, just can't beat Michigan. He beats everyone else, just can't beat Michigan. And I know everyone's saying Tennessee's going to go up there and beat him. Listen, I hate Tennessee more than anything in me. All right, I can't stand this team. The last thing I want to see them do is beat Ohio State. I know I'm supposed to support the SEC, South Carolina's the SEC. I will not support Tennessee by any means. But I will say this, good defense, good running game. Quarterback, a little shaky. Freshman kid's supposed to be great, 5-star, could throw it, all this stuff. Look at his numbers against Power 4 teams. Struggling. I know against Vanderbilt, whatever, he did pretty good. but he's struggling against Power 4 teams prior to the Vanderbilt game. Okay, this is not me just saying this. These are facts. Okay, and if I will dive into the stats for Nico Iamaleava. I'll dive into the stats of him against Power 4 teams. I think there was a point he had 12 touchdowns, and 12 of them were against group of 5 teams or something, or he had 15 touchdowns and 12 were against group of 5 teams. So Tennessee is a running team. They're not a passing team. Running team and defense. Ohio State don't have the talent, right? That's the thing people got to realize is everyone's all into the, Ryan Day can't beat Michigan thing. He sucks. Ohio State's still a very talented team, and they're at home hosting a playoff game. Place is going to be rowdy. Kid from Tennessee already running his mouth. I get it. SEC has the best environments for college games. There's nothing like an SEC game. Most of the environments are very rowdy. You go from A&M, LSU, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Auburn. And I say LSU, I'll say it again, LSU. A list of them. Even Arkansas is a tough environment to play in. Texas now, Oklahoma. So the SEC, man for man, has the best environments. But Ohio State is basically an SEC environment just in Ohio, right? So Tennessee's going to go there. The kid's run his mouth. It's going to be juiced up. Tennessee, I'm not saying they don't stand a chance, but they're not going to beat Ohio State. They're just not going to be Ohio State. They're not as talented as them. I don't see them moving the ball well against Ohio State if they have to throw it. Because like I said, watch Nico Iamaleava. He pisses on all these, slap teams. And when he plays the big dogs, he's not this big thrower that everyone wants him to be. He's just not. So I'm rocking with Ohio State in that game, probably by 2 scores. I got Ohio State winning by 2 scores. I hate Tennessee. They disgust me. And so is Clemson, but Tennessee's gross. This next game here, Indiana at Notre Dame. Now, both teams in Indiana, so I know it's a home game for Notre Dame, but there will be Indiana fans there. I think Notre Dame got a good draw here. Obviously, after that, they got to play Georgia, so not a great draw. But their first game is a good draw because I don't think Indiana's is that great. I know 11-1, they earned their right to be there by beating the teams that they play. And I'm gonna dive into more of the strength of schedule stuff and all this yada yada yada. But Indiana beat the teams that they play. There's nothing you can do. They beat the teams. Were they terrible? Yeah, they beat terrible teams, but they still beat them, right? So that's my take on that. But Notre Dame, like I said, got a good draw here, and I'm rooting against Notre Dame because there's this guy always talking about Lenora Sellers. When Lenora Sellers is electric, I mean, he can throw, he can run. He won SEC Freshman of the Year. This guy has, been probably, if not the best, one of the best South Carolina quarterbacks I've ever seen. Most talented one. Him and Rattler are probably the most talented quarterbacks I've seen in South Carolina. Connor Shaw is the most winningest, but like I said, this guy Sellers is electric. I mean, there's people comparing him to Cam Newton already, and this guy, this moron, is constantly saying how bad he is and all this stuff, and because he missed one throw against Alabama, which he did. He missed a throw. I mean, kid's missing a throw. He's 19 years old. In that situation, guy in his face. I don't know. He missed the throw, but for the 2-point conversion, if anyone watched that game, but. Like I said, I'm rooting against Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's going to win. I really don't like Notre Dame. Just everything about them, it's just really frustrating. They're not my top hated team. Like I said, it's Tennessee and Clemson's too, but Notre Dame's up there, man. I really can't stand them. Last but not least, for the college football playoff game, we have SMU at Penn State in Happy Valley. Now, I'm going to be at this game. Like I said before, Cousins, big Penn State people. Uncle, big Penn State guy. I will be at this game. It's a noon kickoff next Saturday. So, listen, it's going to be a crazy environment. Once again, Penn State, although it's not a night game, it's a noon game, unfortunately, will be rowdy. So, I'm excited for that. I will be supporting Penn State there. I think Penn State wins this game. Now, SMU did impress me, though. Okay? I didn't think they were that good. They played Clemson pretty tough, came back. Honestly, could have sent it to overtime. Should have sent it to overtime. That was some of the worst defense I've seen on that last drive, which the coach is lucky that the committee chose them over Alabama, which is good. But SMU, man, that quarterback's pretty good. Jennings, I like him a lot. You know, he's not Lamar Jackson, but similar skill set, running, throwing, and stuff like that. Live arm for sure. I just think Penn State at home, just a better team, man. But this is the thing here. James Franklin, you have to win this game, okay? You are under a lot of pressure, Franklin. You got to win this game. Win the big games here, right? Home, playoff game, inferior team, playing, you know, in the Big Ten, right? Big Ten, everyone's saying, oh, Big Ten's just as good as the SEC. Let's see it. Let's see it, Big Ten. Step up. I took Ohio State, Penn State. It's your turn to win. You win, you get Boise. Okay, then you got to go to Boise. But, hey, those are two very beautiful teams. You're playing the first two rounds. So, that's that. I'm taking Penn State. Ryan with Penn State there. Teams who have byes: Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, Arizona State. So those are the 4 byes. I like Oregon to possibly win it too. Georgia, we're going to have to see. No Carson Beck. Could be a good thing. Honestly, he's been playing terrible, but Gunnar Stockton, going to see what he's made of. Former South Carolina commit. I'm glad we got Sellers, though. Boise State, you know, they got a bye. They earned it. They earned it, right? Okay. Arizona State's got a bye too. So whoever gets Boise or Arizona State is probably very happy with whoever wins that game. But you got to win your first game. But those are my predictions for that game. Now I'm going to talk about South Carolina because this is a South Carolina channel. South Carolina. So just awards alone. And you guys in the comments, you know, I know you guys will be watching this. Let me know if I missed anything. But Kyle Kennard, Defensive Player of the Year. That's one. And SEC Defensive Player of the Year, too. So that's a big deal. SEC Defensive Player of the Year and the National Defensive Player of the Year with the Bednarik Trophy. So we got that. Stewart, Freshman of the Year. Sellers, SEC Freshman of the Year. Imanwari, First Team SEC. Along with Kyle Kennard and trying to think who else. My bad. But needless to say, it was a historic year for South Carolina, just like Nick Imanwari said at the beginning of the year. It was in an interview. A lot of people laughed at him, said this defense is going to be a historic defense. And I have to agree with him here. Best defense I've ever seen at South Carolina. I saw some good defenses with Clowney, Gilmore, Melvin Ingram, all these guys. This is the deepest defense I've ever seen. We didn't have a secondary. So I'm going to compare Vakari Swain to Stephon Gilmore, and the rest of the guys are very comparable to Vakari Swain. So we have like maybe 3 Stephon Gilmores on the field at once with Judge Collier and Jalen Kilgore and Vakari Swain. So you got 3 Stephon Gilmores. Nick Imanwari is just as good as Swearinger. In the defensive front, I mean, we got Stewart and Kennard, so 2 Clowneys basically. Then interior, TJ Sanders, Boogie Huntley. I mean, those guys are better than the interior guys we had in the Spurrier era, like 2011, 2012, 2013, those times. Dylan Stewart's better than Devin Taylor. And Kennard's just as good as Clowney. So, I don't know. I'm taking this year's defense over that defense. But going forward, if you're a South Carolina fan, you have to be super excited, right? Like, think about this here. Think about the receivers we're bringing in, right? This Conception kid from NC State, he's in the transfer portal. He's considering South Carolina. People want to come to South Carolina now because of Lenore Sellers. So no matter what that moron says, Lenore Sellers is going to get people here, right? Because they want to play with him. They see the talent, right? They know what he's capable of. So that's just something, you know, that I'm excited about South Carolina. The schedule came out. It looks, I mean, it's the same teams we played last year, but this is going to be a gauntlet, man. And I think Beamer knows that. And we're gonna have a team prepared for next season, for what it's gonna be. We're gonna have another good defense. I'm not saying it's gonna be as good as this year, but it's a pretty good defense. Also, I missed the linebackers were very good this year. Debo Williams, Matt Barton Scott, Demetrius Knight. Our linebackers were better than those Spurrier teams. So I think that's the difference maker there. Were our linebackers for sure. But that's that with South Carolina and the playoff teams. Like I said, I mean, going forward. Oh, before I forget, Shane Beamer won Coach of the Year, SEC Coach of the Year. So all these awards for South Carolina this year. In the year we didn't make the playoff, which you look at it once again, a couple plays here and there, and we're in the playoff. Okay, so sometimes it's where it is, just a couple plays in this game in the season, you know. But I really do like South Carolina going forward. I think we're going to be a strong program. Going to be a top 15 program for the next few years as long as Beamer stays and Sellers, takes that. I think he's going to take a lot of steps, but Sellers, stays for maybe doesn't leave after next year, stays another year. And then we can recruit quarterback and sit behind and he learns and stuff like that so we can continue the trend. But I think going forward, South Carolina is going to be a top 15 team consistently. And that's maybe the first time we can say that in a while. I know we had a run where we went 11-2, 3 straight years, 2011, 2012, 2013. Listen, I think these teams are just as talented as those. Spurrier might have the slight edge on Beamer and coaching, but that's about it. Other than that, though, guys, I'm done with this video. As you can tell, I'm a little under the weather, so I'm going to get some rest. If you haven't yet, subscribe, like, comment below. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me more of, things I'm missing and what you want to know more about South Carolina football or just college football in general. Other than that, though, Mr. 46 is out.